Alright, welcome back. Okay, so now in this particular episode, we're gonna find out who that mysterious red-cloaked girl was in the last episode. So she showed up, she turned off the cauldron that Odin was looking for and just bolted. Like, see ya.
If I'd known, I wouldn't have let her go.
The Forest Witch in this game is awesome. She's super cool.
The witch is a refugee from a fallen enemy nation. It's the king's fault she's still alive.
Uh-huh. Totally not your fault.
Lord Briggan, please refrain from making such critical remarks in front of the soldiers.
I cannot still my tongue in the face of weakness.
Princess, please! May I ask that the king retract the marriage he arranged for me? I can still fight. I would rather die fighting than be subservient.
I would like to help, but this is the law.
That seems kind of like a shit deal.
Are wed to brave warriors to bear brave children. They're stripped of their pride and honor and live under a man's thumb.
Wow. So marriage in Odin's sphere is not great. It kind of sucks.
Would not happen. Hold your tongue. My father is never wrong in his tactics.
Was the Shadow Knight there?
He killed many of our troops.
He's super
I heard
badass.
that he pledged his soul to death and traded his life for demonic powers. All I know is that I hope I never meet him on the battlefield.
Yeah, funny you mentioned that. The Shadow Knight's gonna be popping up a lot in this game.
Why is everyone so gloomy? I thought I could make a profit.
I mean, who died? Am I right? Having a hard time debating on what I wanted to buy from this guy. So hey, if you want to grind and you missed a few foes on Prisms, you can always switch chapters.
Do you understand how much we have sacrificed here?
That fussy little walk.
If it all was for some hunk of scrap iron, it is a disgrace to the dead. I'll catch that witch and make her spill her guts about that cauldron. If she plays dumb, her head will fly. Someone, stop that fool before he leaves. No, he cannot be serious about opposing me.
Just punch him in the face. Look how huge your hands are.
I shall find the witch. Gwendolyn, I leave the rest to you.
Like,
Father,
the really huge characters just have like Odin has massive arms, but just a tiny little legs. And he's standing on the balls of his feet. How does he not just like fall over?
allow me to redeem myself. I shall capture the witch.
Gwendolyn, wait.
Yes, Father?
Heed my words. Do not cause undue harm to the witch. Well, she is special. Be respectful.
As you wish, Your Majesty.
So for some reason, Odin thinks that the Witch of the Forest is special. Interesting. So now we're in the forest, and now we're gonna learn about mandragoras. Basically, you make they're little moving plant people. And if you kick them or you hit them once, then they turn into like their respective vegetable. And they can be used in like potions. To either make healing potions, explosive potions, or luck potions, or anything else under the sun. They come in a variety of vegetables. Carrot tears are used for healing tonics. And by adding more of a carrot here, you can improve the healing time to either make it like a regular healing potion or a regen potion or something else I'm forgetting entirely. But we have tons of healing tonics, so we're good. So now we're fighting a bunch of little, like, forest creatures, like little tiny bears. I have no idea what these bears have those satchels for. Oh, also, if you add a Mandragora to an already existing potion, it'll change what that potion is. It doesn't just have to be an empty material. And you can create different potions regardless of whether you have the recipe for it or not. And if you add more materials, or I believe you add, I forget what it is, but if you add something, I believe if you just add more materials or perhaps more seeds, you improve the potion's level, which makes it more effective. See? As I already mentioned. This will just go more in depth to what I was just saying. We're almost out of the tutorial stuff. There's just gonna have a few more things here and there. You gotta think after the first goblin showed up and got his ass whipped by the girl with the massive lance, the other goblins would be like, maybe we shouldn't go after this one. No? Okay, fine. The Beast of Despair. That doesn't sound ominous. Advancing Inferno. Leventhan. I'm sure this has nothing to do with the events of the video game. Never fear. Oh, but look, there's a Phozon Prism right there. So let's go ahead and go grab it. For what reason do frogs have to go attack a person? Like, what reason? I'm curious of what Phozon Prism it is, because it's been a while since I've actually recorded this. This is... Blinding Light. Okay, this is just basically... You just shoot out a... It's kind of like a flashbang. It immobilizes a target. Not something I use later. It's not something I use that often. I prefer to use the more physical attacks. But we're running a little low on, we don't have that many techniques to work with right now, so we might as well add it to an empty slot. Just to vary up combat a little bit. If it seems really obvious, then it probably is. If a secret area seems pretty obvious, then it's probably pretty obvious. So hey, we got another Phozon Prism. Back to back. And this one is Arctic Shroud. This is a buff. So we can't get burned, which I do not use. Yeah, the ones that defend you from status ailments or they're basically buffs, nah, I prefer not. But may as well add it. To at least see what it does. The only way to travel is by backflips. It's a much more stylish way from the traditional Ocarina of Time, like rolling on the ground. Or the side jumps. Each character has their own particular interpretation of the dodge roll mechanic. Yeah, so that's all Arctic Shroud does. It's just a buff. It doesn't make your attacks any better or anything like that. It's just prevents you from getting burned, which doesn't really help that much in the fucking forest. So Cub's Bane. I don't know what that is. In regards to, like, vegetables, I don't know. Is that like an onion? Is it like... I don't know what that is. Ah, right. It wasn't seeds. It was food. If you mix your healing potions with food, then that makes them better. Okay. So if you have crappy food like mulberries that are not doing anything for your experience anymore, just add them to a potion or two. And it makes them better. Now obviously the better the food, the better the upgrade. So mulberries being the lowest of the low give you a little bit of experience for your potions. This is probably, like, the most nothing mini-boss ever. The worst mini-boss is coming up in the next few parts. Certain mini-bosses in Odin Sphere are okay to fight. Like, this one is nothing. This one's not really a thing. You just knock its head off and then you just attack its body. It's pretty simple. There's one later on that's just a massive pain to fight because it has a small little area of where you can actually, where you can damage it. I don't know. It has a small little area where you can actually damage it, and it has homing attacks, and it's just an annoying fight in general. And you have to jump up, like, on top of it in order to actually hit this small little area to actually damage it. It's just not... Got ourselves a power stone. So that's pretty useful. It increases the rate of our POW gauge. Pretty good if we want to keep using beak drive or if we want to keep using our stinger. If we want to use our stinger or our million stab. I know they have official names, but that's just what I'm going to call them. Because that's what they are.
Why don't you buy something? You may be a famous Valkyrie, but you'll still get hungry out on the battlefield, right?
That's not the voice I expect to come from this guy. Buy a bunch of mulberries. Rose Miles are pretty useful, especially if you don't have any extra phosons to work with. They're pretty useful for growing growing food, for growing little plants like this. And since I have a Rose Mile of my own to plant, I only have to give up a few little phosons here and there. The music in this game is just phenomenal. Honestly, it's a little hard not to just be kind of wrapped up in the music and also the artwork of this game. It's just great. I enjoy it a lot. I'm curious if that Vanillaware giant robot game is ever gonna come to fruition. Cause that looks pretty sweet. Like giant robots done by Vanillaware artists. Aw, man. Okay, so here are all the Mandragoras that you can get in the game. It also kind of gives you a bit of a hint of what kind of potions they'll give you if you mix them with materials. For example, the Cyclone Potion right here is created whenever you mix a material with a turning, which is a turnip in this game. Yeah, I was that close to a level up, I wasn't about to just leave it be. Cyclones are pretty useful. This is just kind of a nothing area. I guess this is the only area where you can really get pomegranate, though. They just run up to just get knocked down. It's a little disheartening. And when did... Okay, that makes no sense. Why would a bear have like a little satchel full of honey and just throw it at people? You don't throw it at people, you eat it yourself, buddy. Now you're dead. I took offense with this particular bear. I did not much care for him. You do not simply just throw honey on Princess Gwendolyn and get away with it. The Manticore is a little bit harder of a mini-boss than the than the giant plant monster. Considering it actually moves, and it actually manages to hit me in this fight. But overall, again, this is not the hardest boss. This is not the hardest mini-boss. Not by a long shot. Honestly, only one mini-boss really gives me a hard time. And we don't see it for a little while. Oh no, we're poisoned because of the frickin' goblins. And I am losing quite a little bit of health. I say this wasn't a hard fight, but still, the frickin' poison and, the poison was not welcome. I'm kind of disappointed a little bit that they didn't make any, like, references to Odin's Sphere in, like, Dragon's Crown. Because those two universes seem pretty similar. Like, not even, like, a skin of one of the characters. I don't know. It's okay if you want to, like, mention your own work in another one of your games, guys. Like, freaking Atlas does that shit all the time. And Lord knows Disgaea does that in, like, every one of their video games. Nipponichi Software is not shy about, like, mentioning their other works in every one of their games. I think Laharl has gotten a shit ton of, like, cameos in other NIS games than just Disgaea. He's been in pretty much in almost every other one. I don't know. Maybe just seeing, like, I'm not saying just, like, maybe have, have a Gwendolyn outfit for, like, the Amazon, or maybe the, elf. I don't know. Just a thought. Armageddon. The beast, the lore of the dead, the flame, and the dragon. Oh, and it also mentioned the cauldron. Oof. So yeah, Armageddon. I hope that doesn't come up later on in the game. It's always good to keep your weapon leveled up. Now, I just picked up a thing called an overripe mulberry. Now, if you grow seeds into their respective fruits, if you grow your seeds into their respective fruits, and you just leave them on the plant for a little longer and don't just immediately hit them, they'll eventually turn into rotten food. Which, it gives out the same amount of experience, but it just takes your character longer to eat it, even though they only need to eat like one bite. Now you might be wondering, why would you even like let it do that? Well, it's also because like some of this rotten food comes into play with a few recipes. Like, look in comparison to how long it takes to eat a rotten mulberry in comparison to a regular one. A lot more. It takes a lot longer. I'm not sure why I was carrying all these muggles.
Hey, cut it out! I'm an innocent bystander. I'm just a nice goblin. Just don't ask where my wares came from.
Muggles are pretty useful in that you get 2 bites, and that you can also go ahead and get the seed back again. And they got some decent experience for, like, beginning of the game. So now it's time to face our boss of this chapter. And hey, it's the witch!
I will not let you escape this time.
You'll never get your wish, Valkyrie. Confront me all you want, but you cannot change my resolve.
She's
Go
cool.
back
I like
and
her.
inform the Demon Lord.
Michelle
I will
Ruff is
not
awesome.
listen to your pleas.
You have no choice in the matter. If you insist that you will not repair the cauldron,
That evil spear and my chain are both ciphers. If we battle, it will be a serious affair.
you're hesitating. Bluffing will only get you so far. If you value your life, obey the king.
You ignorant fool. You cut short your own life by meddling in my affairs. Using the crystallization cauldron will doom the entire world. That
I like the use
accursed
of
cauldron
stars on
served
a
as
lot of these
trigger
outfits.
to the horror that befell my native country of Valentine.
Oh.
It is Cataclysm's womb, and it should not exist.
The great magical country of Valentine is said to have been destroyed overnight. I am aware of the story that you describe. The Valentine prophecies say the world will be destroyed by 5 disasters.
One of which
One
is
of those 5
Lucrezia.
involves a furnace that spews despair. You say that line refers to the crystallization cauldron. 'Tis but a rumor from a ruined land.
War will spread across the world. The winning country will rule over the entire land. Your country's ambition is merely a convenient lie for the Demon Lord.
Do you imply that my king is deceiving everyone? I will not hear this mockery. Stop this nonsense. I shall take your life if I must.
But your dad said not to. Your dad says don't hurt her. So we actually get her name, Velvet. Velvet's one of my favorites in this game. She's cool. But she's not that hard in this fight. Yeah, so you can actually fight a lot of the player characters in this game. Which leads to kind of sick rival fights, in a way. Velvet's cipher is her chain, and she has a lot of long-range attacks, and she relies a lot on fire-based techniques. We won't actually get to play as her until quite a while in the story of the game. In fact, she's actually the last character that you play as, so there you go. But she's still gonna have quite a bit of an impact on a lot of the other characters' stories. Even though she's not really putting up that much of a fight right here. Oh, and also, before I cut her off, she used her chains to swing around like Spider-Man. Yeah, so it's kind of worrying that Velvet's giving me less trouble than the frickin' Manticore. But these character-sized bosses are not really that hard. Especially once you can just get them into a pattern and just roll over them. But they can also heal themselves, which is not great. But it's not that big of a deal. And there you go. So, that was easy.
Wait.
But hey, it didn't matter.
You cease fighting.
Father! Why are you here?
I got
had premonition
this.
of something like this, so I came here.
Odin.
I cannot allow you to hurt one another. Gwendolyn, step away. Do not interrupt what I have to say.
Did you intend for that to rhyme?
Velvet, you look so much like your mother. My dear daughter,
Oh.
why are you acting against me?
Do not call me your daughter.
What a surprising turn of events.
Fool.
That's a good reason of why
The
Odin
nations of
wouldn't have wanted
Valentine were
Velvet to
young
get
for
hurt.
war. You disguised yourself and seduced my mother, the princess, with sweet words. And you were quick to flee when she became pregnant. Because my mother gave birth to an enemy's child, she was executed for loving you.
Well, fuck.
It is the same as if you had killed her yourself.
This is not a very happy story, guys.
Child. We did not know each other's real names nor our ranks. I did not run away from her. We were torn apart. I truly loved the princess.
Father.
Lies! If you loved my mother, who is this other daughter here?
Well, I'm a king, so I had to sire a lot of
And I have
offspring.
no desire to help you.
It's a good thing Velvet didn't see the other daughter Odin had. Ah, great.
Well. I followed the king and stumbled into a royal spat.
We can just kill him now, right?
Fraternizing with the enemy. Who could have guessed?
Brigand,
Although their demise was sudden, Valentine was still our enemy. And while the battle raged, the king had an affair with their princess and even had a child. Dearie me.
This
the
could be an
subjects
issue.
Will be most upset.
You know, Odin is still your
But as
king,
I
and he's
am
way
the servant
stronger.
of my king,
Why didn't he
I
just,
will
like,
carry
deck
this secret
Brigand in the
to my
face?
grave.
He can
But
jump
that
pretty high for a big
cauldron
dude.
Is another story. Now come, winsome little witch. You will help us gain its might.
Velvet could totally take this dude. Just hit him in the face with your chain. No? Okay, whatever.
How did you stop the magic furnace? There must be some type of key to it. Speak, witch, if you value your life.
Even if I told you, there is nothing you could do. The cauldron may only be controlled by a ring named Tetrel. A terrible dragon holds the ring presently.
So suck it.
Wagner, feared by all, keeps the ring within his stomach.
How could this be?
Wagner of all things.
My lord, what do you plan for the girl who has harmed our country so? If we cannot use the cauldron's magic, the inevitable final battle shall be a recreation of the awful war against Valentine. How are we to inform the soldiers and the citizens?
I know.
We must sacrifice her flesh to the dragon and retrieve the ring. Command me to sacrifice the witch. Suppress everyone's anger with blood.
That's a good idea. Just kill people.
I
That'll
sense
make
my
everybody
king
calm
is not
down.
Content. Is there any reason to protect this witch? Is there anything at all between our king and his daughter from an enemy land?
Everybody just heard that. You're not whispering.
Ah, sire, I hear your command.
These
The
three
weak
guys
shall
just
be
heard it.
sacrificed.
They
Away
heard.
with her.
You're not whispering, Brigand. Like, noise travels in here. Like, you're not in a fucking vacuum. Whatever, we got Assault High. It's okay. I mean, as long as you can, like, change out your moves during a combo. But hey, now we get access to abilities. These are buffs. These are passive buffs to your characters. Every time you level up, you get an ability point. And you can use these ability points to go ahead and buy passive buffs to your characters. Like increased power recovery speed. You can give Gwendolyn better flying abilities. And the list goes on and on. These are all pretty good. But you want to get Gourmet. Gourmet is the really good one. You get more experience from eating food, which we'll be doing a lot of in this game. So, I guess we're going to go ahead and find out what happens to Old Velvet in the next episode. So, until then, thank you so much for watching.